Average human life expectancy is estimated to be 72 years. However, the Bible was written over 500 years ago. Shakespeare died 400 years ago. The Roman Empire ceased to exist about 700 years ago. Maths as we know it today has existed as early as 2,200 years ago. And just to put that into perspective, America isn't even 250 years old. So why have these things that are so old and having... No one knows anyone who existed at these times, so how do they still have that hold on us today? Why do they still have an impact on our lives? Why do we still learn about them? Why do we still need these contents that are so old? Why do they have their lasting effect? Well, it's their attachment that they create, the connection and bond that come with these things. It's if something is designed to last, it needs to connect to whoever it's designed for. And anyone is capable of creating something that can keep someone attached to it and can permanently attach someone to it. And anyone is capable of creating something. And you have to create and seek out that connection. That is what keeps it together, that connection. And it's that connection which allows us to keep these mediums alive hundreds of years, centuries after the original creator has ceased, after they should have died off, but they don't. And nothing can live forever because no one connected to such a thing can keep going forever. Everything dies out at some point. But can we not just keep it going for as long as we can? Even if it dies one day, at least we held onto it for as long as we could. We didn't let it die in the moment. It may have died later, but we held on. We clung to the readings and the writings of the ancient preachers and scholars because we could. Because if we had let them go, they would have died before they did, which would have been much worse. Because even if someone's legacy holds up for another 10, 20 years after their death, isn't that better than dying the day of their death? Even though it's not 100 years, it's not a century, it's not a millennia, it's more than it would be if it just died alongside them. We shouldn't let people's thoughts be buried along with their body. We shouldn't let expression go into that casket too. We must hold on and we must create to be held on to. There's a famous saying, a person dies twice, first with their body and then with the last saying of their name. But does it have to be their name? Can't it be the things they did and created in their life? If someone writes something and someone reads that thing and holds on to it, and then it can still exist afterwards. So we shouldn't let anything go. We should hold on, and we should continue and hold on tightly to anything and everything, because we shouldn't let it cease. If you read something from 356 years ago, it's better to read it than to not. Because if you don't read it, you're just accepting that you're going to let it die off, and you don't want it to die off. Nobody wants anything to die off. If we let everything die off, what would we be? We can all do it, possibly, if we put our efforts, people put their efforts into creating something good, something they like, something they enjoy. But wouldn't it be better spent to put it towards the impact and the connection that actually keeps the thing alive? As I said, I think last time, no one reads it. If no one can see the depictions of it, what does it mean? So create to connect. With anyone, with one person has a better impact than 100 people who don't read it all. One person who reads everything. Just connect to whoever is willing to read it, to see it, to watch it. Accept that it might die out one day, but at least one person read it. At least one person held on for it longer than it could have died off. Something could have died in 5 minutes after the last word was put on page. But because someone read it and kept thinking about it and went over it and over it, it held on, and it didn't take its final breath for another months, days, an hour. Could have been even longer, could have been generations. So just hold on.